I wanted to explain that conservatives are not fascists. What I see in the United States is instead of people that glorify fascism reading the works of fascists, or even reading the works of people that liked fascism, or even reading Machiavelli, or even reading classic Greek philosophers, or even reading the Constitution, which is far closer, the U.S. Constitution, which is far closer to fascism than a lot of other things. What I see a lot of Americans doing is promoting conservatism. Fascism is not conservatism. Fascism embraced what was good about the traditions of the past, but wanted to get rid of the tired traditions that did nothing but suck the life out of civilization. Another thing that I wanted to be very clear about is the idiocy of gun nuts in the United States, these gun advocates. Now, what's funny is we have a Second Amendment in the United States of America, and this Second Amendment guarantees the right to keep and bear arms. What a lot of these people, and they are everywhere within the quote far right movement in the United States, what these gun advocates do not understand, kind of like the white supremacists, is that the more they promote gun rights, the crazier they look, and the more a crackdown happens on law-abiding citizens that own guns. Now, what's funny is if you ever talk to one of these inbred morons, what they'll do is they'll go, well, we got a Second Amendment, and we got a Second Amendment to fight tyranny. We got a Second Amendment to fight tyranny. What they fail to understand is it's a demographics game also. And we have a military in the United States that is heavy black, heavy African American, and heavy Hispanic American. And these, now like the black Americans, I do not reach out to black people. I think that is a lost cause. I think that is the most idiotic possible thing to do, is to reach out to black Americans. I think black Americans know what they want, and they want black nationalism. And that's cool. That's for them. I don't think it's positive for America. I don't think it's positive for any other group of people. I don't think it's positive for civilization. But that's what I believe black Americans that I've met, whether they openly acknowledge it or not, recognize that they want. So when white people go up to them and go, well, we're all joined together under the banner of the Stars and Stripes, you're wasting your damn breath. However, there are Hispanic Americans. Hispanic Americans also make up a good portion of the U.S. military. And what's interesting is a lot of U.S. Hispanics I've met that have served in the military, when they get out, they are not liberal. They tend to be conservative. Conservatism syncs with their Catholicism. And most of them are Catholic or born-again Christian. A lot of them are becoming Mennonites now. But the thing is, with this idiotic white supremacy, gun nut, gun advocate stuff, is what these people don't understand is, again, we have a military in this country that is heavy on the blacks, heavy on the Hispanics, and the Hispanics and the blacks in this country are, now blacks I think just don't like white people. I think that goes hands down. The majority of blacks, I would say, do not like white people. However, with Hispanic Americans, there is a brainwashing that has taken place. Many Hispanic Americans do not recognize that they themselves are part white. They're part Spanish, of course. The language they speak is a European language called Spanish. It's a Romance language. It comes from the root language of Latin. Many Hispanics have been brainwashed by white liberals and communists and what are called Catholic liberation theologists into believing that there is no European traditions in Latin America, and hence no European traditions for their people, though a lot of Spanish traditions are present in Latin America. I think one of the most obvious ones, of course, is the Catholicism. So what I'm trying to get at here is these white supremacist gun nuts are talking about how they have guns to fight tyranny. Okay, granted. But the thing is, you're not going to. You're not going to be able to. And if you look at any group of people that has attempted to defend themselves from the federal government, they've lost. And the reason why is because you can't. You're outgunned. And the other problem is these gun advocates draw attention to innocent people that don't want anybody hurting each other. Especially we people like me do not want the government and the people to be fighting each other. What we want is a transition brought about through political, or actually in my case, social revolution, where the government transitions into what it was originally, which is a government by the people and for the people. When you get into these gun advocate folks, you get into people like, okay, many people don't know about Waco, Texas. I would recommend people look up the Branch Davidians and Waco, Texas. This is a prime example of what happens when people decide that they're going to show what they believe and walk all over the fact. They like to say, well, I have a First Amendment right of freedom of religion, and I can believe whatever I want. And I have a Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. Okay, that's what they say. And if you look up the Branch Davidians, they were a little nutty, but they didn't do anything to warrant what happened to them. But some of the goose-stepping fellows in the federal government do not like when individuals, especially groups of individuals, like the Branch Davidians, assert their rights. In the United States, we have an interesting concept. Everyone has rights. Everyone. Until you upset the wrong group of people. So I just wanted to do a little rant about my view on these gun nuts and how conservatism is not fascism. And I want to make it clear, you know, these people that keep calling themselves fasci or whatever, it ain't it ain't what it is. You're lying to yourself and you're bringing bad things down on other people. And it's not good for anybody. That's about it.